Hey everyone. In this video, I want to talk about something that really makes me excited about this sport of real estate investing and makes me even more excited that I'm getting to share it with you. It's some reasons for investing that I think will last us a lifetime, will make it a lot of fun and fulfilling for the rest of our lives, hopefully. We've already talked about real estate as being something that is a really good avenue or thing to get into for security, whether full-time or part-time, if you're needing to put food on the table and you're needing to secure your retirement and make sure you have enough money. This is a driver, no doubt about it. That's the reason a lot of us get into it, and no problem there. And also, just becoming an entrepreneur, having your own business, getting control of your life to an extent that you're able to do what you want, control your time, control your flexibility. And so I've done videos on both of these on why real estate is such a wonderful business for both of these reasons. But I know in my own personal experience with growing my own business, while these started off as really strong motivations, as you grow over time, they lose steam a little bit. And maybe it's because you can only go so far thinking about need more. That might motivate you a whole lot when your back's against the wall and you need a lot of money. But as you get a little bit more comfortable, maybe as you start to get a little bit more control over your life, or maybe some other things seem more important. I think because real estate investing in any business venture is such a long haul, it takes lots of energy and lots of persistence. I think both of these, if they're your only motivation, I think you're going to fall short of your full potential. And at least what I found out for myself is that because I found the actual work of real estate, so the day-to-day grind, the things you do on a daily basis in this business, I've found them to be fun. I found ways, and not everything I do has been fun, but I found ways to find things that I enjoy, find things about the business that I'm good at, that I have a good time with. So I want to just present that idea to you a little bit. And so think about some things within the business that you might enjoy, and I'm going to just list a few that just people I've helped coach, might enjoy about it. This is a business where you can take an ugly house, ugly, dirty house, the worst one on the street, and you can turn it into something. You can transform it and make it something pretty. And there are a lot of people that enjoy that. I mean, if you get good at it, you can even take on the big projects, the really old houses and the 1890s houses that you can restore it and bring it back to its former glory. I mean, there's all sorts of different avenues within real estate. And then you have your normal little rental houses that you just clean up and put some paint on. But in either case, you get to do that on a regular basis, and that can be a lot of fun. There's also this idea that, when you're out finding deals, it's a treasure hunt. When you were a little kid, you played hide and go seek, and you hunted for pirate's treasure. Well, that's really what you're doing here. I mean, you're going out, and you look under lots of stones, and not all of the things that you find are treasures, and you have to keep hunting, but eventually you find that gold, and you get a good deal, and it's so much fun to say, I've been hunting for this one, and this is the deal I want. And that's nonstop. You can do that the rest of your life, hunting for deals. That's fun for me, I know. There's some of you that like to have, put things in order. So to keep things tidy, to do the numbers. And I know this, for me, I didn't think this was one of mine when I started off, but doing your bookkeeping in the business has a weird satisfaction to it for a lot of people, where getting everything in order and everything adds up, and seeing your money grow and watching the bank account and doing bookkeeping can really be satisfying. And also when it's your books, when it's your money that's doing well, or hopefully it's doing well, maybe it's not. But when you're the one doing that, it's like keeping a tidy shop, and some people just like doing that and cleaning the kitchen, and so if that's your deal, then that can be something that's a lot of fun in real estate. And then the one that's really become a lot of fun for me is that when you're the main person in your business, when you have a small business, the human connections that you get to make, the relationships, these are what make this business just spectacular. And think of all the different people you touch on a daily basis. I'll go over some more of these later, but you talk to sellers, you're out there talking to them and getting to meet them, and you hear so many stories and meet so many interesting people when you're doing that. You have people who are your lenders, whether that's institutions or, as I always like to do, going to private individuals. You're getting to meet people who are trusting you with their money and working in partnership to both make money together. It can be a lot of fun. Some of my best friends in the world, my mentors, and are people who lend money to me, lend money with me. I see them as a partner. And so those are lifelong relationships. We connect for a long, long period of time. And then you have the people you're serving with your houses. You have tenants and you have buyers. And excuse me there, go back up somehow, hit some kind of button. But tenants aren't a bad word. If you buy the right properties and buyers as well, then it can be a joy to help people live in a house that they can afford. And it's part of the business I love, turning tenants into home buyers, helping them experience the American dream of owning their own home and doing it in a way that's affordable and makes sense. So all these things are really satisfying, and you get to know them. And if you have long-term tenants, you get to know them over a long period of time, and you're making an impact on their life. And if you're helping somebody buy a house, that might be a house they live in the rest of their life. And if you help them do it affordably and do it in the right way, responsibly, that's going to impact their family in a big, big way, and they might not be able to do it otherwise. So these kind of human connections are something that has been extremely satisfying for me as you're building your business. And especially this last part leads me to an idea that this business might turn into something for you that's called a vocation. Vocation. And I believe I looked up the Latin root, the Latin root of this word is basically to be called. To be called to do something. There's so many jobs that you do, and you're punching the clock, and maybe you like it, maybe you don't. But you can turn real estate into something that can be a calling for you. And I don't remember exactly where I saw it now, but I know there's been in several books that your calling or your vocation is right at the intersection of three different things. Right at the intersection. And if you have your interests or I'll call it your talent, or things that you're good at. So your talents, find things you're good at. We talked about that earlier. Maybe you're good at fixing up stuff. Maybe you're also passionate about fixing up stuff. You can find things you're good at and you're passionate about, and at the same time, they meet the needs of other people. So you're getting to serve people with your passions and talents. And when you build your own business, you get to build the whole business around that. You can focus your business on, if you like rehabbing, that's just what satisfies you. You can just focus most of your business on turning ugly houses into pretty houses. If you enjoy the treasure hunt, you can be the person who goes out and finds deals all the time. But the vocation part of this, the thing that can be more than just a fun hobby, is that you're taking your talents, you're taking your passions, and you're satisfying a big need for people. And the intersection of these three things is the kind of thing that can give you not only fun, but this is where the fulfillment comes in. Is you're making a really big impact on people's lives. And this isn't talked a lot about when you're learning how to invest in real estate, but if you just think about all the people, the kind of impact we're making on people, and I'll start with the tenants. We talked about the tenants and the buyers. When you're helping somebody buy a house, you think about the generations and generations, that this is somebody who would have stayed a tenant their whole life, and you're able to help them buy a house, and let's say you owner finance it to them for 20 years. I've got some houses like that where they start off as tenants, then I finance it to them, and 20 years from now, this buyer who didn't have enough of a down payment for a traditional lender, who couldn't get a loan, they didn't have the traditional income, they're going to buy this house, and 20 years from now, they're going to own it. And they retire, and they live for 10, 20 years after they pay this house off, and they own it free and clear. And because they don't make a lot of income, maybe they make Social Security, they're able to live in this house, and maybe they take in their grandkids if their grandkids need help, and they are the center of their family because they have this asset of a house. And home is the center of a lot of people's lives and keeps things glued together, and we're a big part of that. By us doing all the things we learn, we're making that kind of impact. And even if people stay as tenants, you're letting somebody live affordably in a reasonable house, and they're able. Again, it's the home is the center of their family, And that's a really serious thing to think about that you're getting to do here. In addition to, when you do all this, we're teaching you how to make a profit while you're doing it. So you're finding a fulfilling outlet. You're making a profit at the same time. And to me, that is business and entrepreneurism at its best. Is you're getting to do these things and you're filling needs. And at the end of the day, you should also make a profit for it. And in this business, there are some businesses that aren't able to make a profit to solve people's needs, nonprofits and different things. But in this business, all of these things can happen. And I think that's a really cool thing. I'm enthusiastic about it, and I like to share that enthusiasm with a lot of other people. So I hope you kind of catch a little bit of that passion. I hope you get excited about maybe the vocation of real estate. And if you don't see it as your lifelong calling, that's okay too. I know lots of people who, they enjoy real estate, it's fun, but they just see it as a means to an end, and they have other callings in their life. I know people who, one person who I've coached, she wanted to make income so that she could go on medical missions abroad, and she wanted to go do that. And having the income from the real estate, from her, the short-term calling, can help her with her bigger calling, the things she knows she needs to be doing, going on these medical missions. I know other people. I have a mentor of mine because he's been good in real estate and it's a vocation of his, he's been able to put his granddaughter through college through the money. And think about the importance of that vocation, being a parent and a grandparent. And so this can all support the other vocations of your life. So to me, that's a pretty exciting idea. It's a reason that we can have a lot of fun and see this as a really fulfilling thing to do for the rest of our lives. So thanks for sticking with me on this video, and we will see you in some other videos.